the gospel message. Here we read about the miracle of how Jesus healed a blind man and he was able to see for the first time. Jesus and his disciples come across this man, and his disciples ask Jesus, "Why is this man blind? Did he sin or did his parents sin?" But Jesus says something very interesting. He tells them that neither the man nor his parents sinned, but that this happened so that the work of God could be displayed in him. I think this is a really important lesson for all of us. Sometimes we go through tough times or face challenges, and it's easy to wonder why. But just like in this story, God can use even the difficult things in our lives to do something amazing. It's like he's always working behind the scenes to make sure that our life fits perfectly. Now, let's think about what this story means for us. Maybe you're facing a tough time at school or feeling you don't fit in, and it's easy to feel like you're left in the dark, right? But just like Jesus brought light to the blind man, he can bring light to us. We can ask him for help and trust that he's always there for us, guiding us through even the darkest times. But even when Jesus does something truly amazing, there will always be people that doubt him. In this story, there were religious leaders that doubted him and didn't believe that the blind man was healed. They even questioned his parents about it. But the blind man stuck to what he knew was true and didn't let anyone shake his faith. So what we can learn from this is that we need to trust in Jesus, even when others don't get it. Maybe you have friends who don't believe in God or don't go to church, and that's okay. Just like the blind man, we can stick to our faith and trust that Jesus knows what's best for us. Now, let's take a moment to look at the blind man's perspective. Can you imagine what it must have been for him, not being able to see God's beautiful creations, being left in the darkness? But then Jesus comes along and gives him the ability to see God's creations, and not only that, but experience the world in a new way. Also, let's think about how this story applies to all of us as we face tough decisions in our life. If you are ever presented with a tough choice or feeling pressured to do something that you know is not right, just like the blind man stood up for what he believed, we can stand up for what we believe is right and trust that God will always be there by our side. And finally, let's not forget that the story isn't just about physical blindness, it's also about spiritual blindness. Sometimes we can be blind to the truth of God's love and mercy, unable to see the beauty of his grace and be thankful. But just like Jesus opened the eyes of the blind man, he can open our eyes to his truth and love. We just have to have the faith to trust in him. So, to sum it all up, let's remember these 4 things. 1, even when things seem tough, God can turn them around for something good. 2, we need to trust in Jesus, even when others doubt or don't understand. 3, no matter what, we have to always stand up for what we believe is right. And 4, let's pray for God to open our eyes to see his truth and his love. I hope this story inspires you all as much as it inspired me, and thank you again for giving me this opportunity, and thank you all for listening.